Welcome everybody to Fishing with Jett. On today's video, we're gonna change things up again. You know, this is not gonna be an on the water video with me fishing, catching fish, or whatever, but I think it's about time for me now to show you exactly what I fish on. The thing that I use a lot, I started out having a big fiberglass bass boat for a few years or whatever, and I loved it, sure enough, you know what I'm saying, but over time, you know, maintenance and things that you have to keep on an older boat kind of got overwhelming. So I later on sold my boat, and you know, it didn't take long for me to actually get to the point where I was missing being able to get out on the water and fish. When I was younger, growing up and everything, it was very easy to you know, go around your local area and fish the local ponds, rivers and things like that. But you know, here, fast forward here, now that's a task that's not easy nowadays. It's very hard to find places that you can get permission to fish in. So I was kind of in between limbo. I was living in an area with plenty of small ponds, reservoirs, bodies of water like that, rivers that I had that was in my area, but I didn't have access to it. And I would do the thing about driving around, you know what I'm saying, asking people for permission to fish, and I had no luck with it, you know. And it was hard just to, you know, be living in an area with so much water surrounding you and not being able to get on the water. So I had to make a change. Without further ado, here my baby. And many of y'all may know exactly what it is. It's a Pelican Bass Raider 10E, aka the Raider. That's what I call it, the Raider. So today's episode, I just want to show you my little setup with my Pelican Bass Raider. Things that I've kind of tweaked over time that works good for me. Without further ado, let's get to this video. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to come to the area of the boat where I do most of my fishing. And at the front, on the front transom of the boat, I have a Minn Kota 45-pound thrust Enduramax trolling motor. It's actually a really good trolling motor. I hadn't too long bought it or whatever, but I wanted to get me one that has like the in-between speeds. You know, that's what I love about it. Sometimes that wind be blowing just in that right direction, where if you just turn it a little bit and get just a little bit more speed, it's perfect. You know, all the other older trolling motors that they had out on the market, you know, they pretty much had 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, settings on them. There was no in-between speeds. So that's the one reason why I had to go with this one. If you look at the area right here, the Bass Raider 10E, it also comes pre-wired, you know, and the pre-wired thing is right here, and it basically runs through the boat, inside the boat, all the way back to the back, where you have this wire that comes out, you know, positive, negative. You know, it's a great way of having your trolling motor at the front of the boat and put your battery at the back of the boat. The next thing is, the boat comes with 2 rod holders. The 2 rod holders, there's one on each side. They're like vertical, straight up rod holders. And I very seldomly use them as a rod holders. I have these little small like ropes with the little hooks on the end of it that I typically attach to the handles. One in the front and one on the rear, back towards the back of the boat, where I attach to. That way when I have my boat next to a dock, I can tie them onto the dock without having to worry about the boat floating away. But you know, when they're not tied up, I typically keep them in that, you know, stuff down in there. Sometimes I might stuff a little pliers or something like that, or something down there like a tool or something. But that's basically what I use it for. Moving on to the next thing is my fish finder. I have what you call the Garmin Striker Plus SV, 7 Plus SV. It's a very nice fish finder. I wanted to get something big enough for me to see, and as you can see, this is plenty big for the boat that I fish on and everything. It's very nice, you know. The casing that goes over the front of it that I use to help protect the glass of the fish finder. I think I ordered this on Amazon. You can kind of look it up, look up your model, whatever. But I got that off of Amazon. So it works well. It snaps right on. Let me cut this thing. It snaps right on like this right here, and bam, it's on now. You know, it snaps on there. I brought the wires out the back of the fish finder, and I kind of brought them along down the boat. Took the excessive and kind of like rolled it up nicely and put, you know, 2 or 3 wire tires on it to keep them together. I didn't want to mount them to the boat because I don't want to put a whole lot of holes in the boat. I kind of just keeps it laying around, you know, flims around. Down to the very side of the boat is my transducer. My transducer, it runs down to the side, and mind you, I got my boat down, but I have it running down to the side of the boat. It works well in this position. The mount that I use is a Scotty mount. If you go on Amazon or any other website like that, you can order the Scotty mount off the website. It works perfect with my transducer of my boat. The next thing that I have that powers my fish finder is a little small 12 volt 10 AH sealed lead acid battery. I'm currently looking for a battery that's a little bit lighter to use, but I ordered this battery right here on Amazon also too. I've had it for a little bit over 2 years, and it's still working strong. Had to figure out these little small wires and connect it to the front, to the top, but it works very well. It's got got my fuse right here that connects the fish finder or whatever. So that's my battery setup, and I typically keep it kind of snug right in next to the boat up here, out of the way of everything, you know, kind of out of the way. This is my anchor. I've never used it, but it's a I think this is a 20-pound, I think it's a 20-pound anchor that I purchased from Walmart or whatever. I've not used it yet, but I try to make sure I always have it with me just in case I do need it, in case I want to just kind of like stay still in one particular area. But you know, I'm bass fishing, so I'm typically on the move pretty much all the time. But I got it. I keep it in my boat just in case I change it up a little bit, and I kind of keep it at the front or whatever, you know, while I'm in the boat. Things push towards the front or whatever. The next thing I want to point to my floor. Now my floor, I went to the local Home Depot, Lowe's, and purchased plywood. Can't remember exactly what thickness plywood I purchased, but you want to get one that's, you know, that's pretty thick, you know, something that you can stand on without too much bow in it or whatever. But it helps to give you a little bit more stable ground standing on. And to add extra comfort, I also went online and ordered what you call I think they call them like exercise mats, but they basically like a foam like really tough like texture mat that comes with like little notches in them that kind of locks in. Everybody, you know, pretty much everybody know what these is. But I ordered me some of these throughout my boat. I kind of attached them to each other just to give me extra cushion, so when I'm out here fishing all day long, it provides me with a little bit more comfort underneath my feet. Next is my old trusty paddle. Just an old regular wooden paddle. I suggest with this boat right here to get a solid paddle, because you want something with a little bit more sturdy. This is not a kayak. It doesn't move around like a kayak or whatever. So you need something that's a little bit more I guess sturdy. So I got this little wooden paddle and it works fine. The next thing are my seats. You know, I got this little cushion that I take with me because the only thing I hate about these seats are they're made out of this type of plastic. You know, for the most part they're comfortable, but after fishing 5, 6, 7 hours, you know, you kind of look for something with a little bit of padding on it to put down for you to sit on. So I kind of like maneuver this little thing. I'm gonna get me something better or whatever. The newer Pelican Bass Raider 10E, they actually come with more of like a kayak style seats on them, which is really cool. I would love to have one of those right there, but for the time being I got these. So they make things done. They rotate all the way around. The good thing about the seat, the area in which the seat sits on, it slides up. You know, you can slide your seat forward, you slide it back. You know, you can get it to your desired position. Okay, both seats do that. So you know, they just slide real easy. Now below the seat, I purchased a little, I guess you'll call it extender, but basically what it did was it added another 5 to 7 inches to the height of my seat. Typically on this front seat, when I'm up here fishing, I like to set a little bit higher up on the boat where the seat behind it sits lower, but by it being lower, it allows me to reach my, you know, my tiller right here. It allows me to reach that a lot easier and maneuver or whatever. But when I'm up here in the bread and butter, you know, I like to set a little bit higher, so it works out. I think you can buy these things right here at Walmart, online or whatever. You know, get you one if you're a taller person or whatever. Oh, and the thing that I failed to mention too also, this boat is super stable. I mean, I'm not the type of person to play in the boat or whatever, but I did test it out in shallow water, just how stable this boat is. You can literally stand up. You can literally stand up on the side of the boat with nothing else on the other side, and this boat would not even turn over. So it is a very, very, very stable boat. So anybody out there looking for a boat that they can feel comfortable and safe in, this is the boat for you, because this boat is super stable. I wish it was a little bit more room width-wise on the inside of it, but you know, hey, it is what it is, but it works. As you see on the side of the boat, you have small little compartments. You know, they say they cup holders or whatever. They really not that deep or whatever, but they make for great things to, you know, look at this. Just look at this mess. Flukes, worms, any kind of little things. Just, that's my little mess box. You know, you got one on each side of the boat. So I kind of like throw stuff that I'm taking on and off typically throughout the day and put it in this until I get ready to come off the water. Or, you know, I ride down the road with these things on and never lose anything. So, hey, you can keep them right there. The rest of the side of the boat, I typically use to, like if you look on the other side, I have a rod. And I typically fish with about 6, maybe 7 rods at a time, most of the time. And what I do is I get my rod and I just kind of turn the handle a certain way and kind of gently slice it. And I can place another one behind it, get a spinning reel or whatever. But I try to put, you know, 2 or 3 on each side. Well, 3 on each side, maybe 4 on the other one, depending on how many rods I got. But I place them very neatly. And you have to be careful. Some people take the little bunch thing, drill you a couple of holes and have a little scrap that locks your rods in. But like I said, I'm trying not to drill so many holes in my boat. So I just kind of like take my time and make sure I be careful about how I handle my reels. The next thing I want to talk about is my outboard. And as you can see, I run a 45-pound thrust trolling motor at the front of the boat. And at the back of the boat, when I'm fishing bigger bodies of water, I use my outboard to get me from point A to point B. And once I get to where I'm going, I typically cut it off and I use my trolling motor in the front to fish and maneuver around the areas. This is a Honda 2.3 4-stroke outboard motor. The unique thing about this outboard motor, it is air cooled. The air cooled outboard is something that I really like. Now it runs a little bit louder than the regular water pump controlled outboard, but I love it. It typically pushes my boat about 5 to 6 miles per hour. So yeah, you better believe it. I be rolling on the water, but all jokes set aside, nah, you know, it's a lot faster than a trolling motor would take you. So it allows me to cover bigger areas of lakes and stuff. The one thing about this boat is very light. I notice on windy days that the boat has a tendency to spin a lot. So I had to come up with something that would slow it down. I purchased a piece of aluminum. And basically what I did was I took the aluminum and I kind of made a cardboard outline, and I kind of traced it or whatever, and I kind of took my time and kind of cut it out of this piece of aluminum. I wish I would have went a little bit lower down to where it would probably be down just past the propeller or whatever, so it'd be deeper in the water. But as you can see, the water line comes typically where that rust line starts. This right here, believe it or not, it helps out a lot with stopping the boat from spinning. It doesn't stop the boat from spinning completely, but it does stop it from spinning just totally out of control or whatever. So this is a great idea that I came up with, and I had to put some things together to make it work out or whatever. But that's what I use on my outboard. Again, this is a complete look of my outboard. You know, it has the little, all the safety things to it, knob and everything. So I love it. It's a nice little motor. Wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, the next part of my video is how I transport my boat. I see where people typically just throw the boats in the back of your truck. Even though it's a lightweight boat, you know, you have other things that you have to put in it, like your batteries and all the other things to make everything operate. So I didn't want to go to that extent. Found a local marine dealer that sells refurbished small boats, jet ski trailers. I had a deal. I ran up on a deal that I couldn't pass up on. So I purchased this trailer, and it fits perfect with my boat. These Smith, I call them boat guides. These right here is one of the best things that I've purchased too. It helps to guide your boat onto the water, onto your trailer, both in and out of the water. A must-have thing if you plan on having like a trailer or whatever. I have them on both sides. Trailer came with 8-inch wheels on them. I think they're rated like at 55 miles per hour, but it's a pretty sturdy trailer. You know, not sure exactly how long it is. The next thing I did was on the front of the boat, it typically had on the front of my boat, it came with the roller for the point of the boat to kind of roll up on or whatever. So I took that off, and I took some 2x4s, and I took some old marine carpet that I had laying around, and I just kind of like really wrapped up that particular piece of wood and drilled a hole through it and kind of stuck the boat through it and tightened it down as possible. But that basically works as a little button system that I put my boat up against, and it you know, just gives me a little bit of you know, it buzz up against it. Okay. The last thing that I've done to the boat is this rope. This rope right here is very important for me. Taking my boat out, I use it to put my winch in. It's just a little nylon style rope. It lasts a pretty long time. When it get too frayed up, I got bukus of it at the house, but I take it and replace it, put more down. This thing right here, but I got another video where I'm actually gonna show you how I launch and trailer my boat, and that's gonna come in a separate video. So you're gonna see the real importance of this rope right here. With that being said, that concludes today's video. I appreciate everybody that, you know, watch, support me. Please, you know, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at the setup I got. I promise you, this right here helps out a lot. Especially a lot of people out here don't want to be lifting anything. You know, they want it the easiest possible. So if you got enough room to put a trailer, get your bass raider, put them on a little jet ski trailer, a small trailer like that, and I'm telling you, it is butter. It works perfect. I appreciate everybody for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. You know, that way once a week you will get the notification when I upload my videos. So without further ado, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.